and obviously playing in front of the fans there. I mean, when we played conference play on the weekends, we were playing in front of 11,000 people. So it was something for me that I feel like the moment was never too big for me.
Right.
And just kind of get out there. And at the end of the day, it's still baseball, no matter how many people are in the stands.
You are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome into another edition of the Locked On Rays podcast. And today we have a very special guest, that is Garrett Edwards, who is a prospect in the Rays farm system right now. He is at High A Bowling Green and killing it, if I may say so. Your numbers are looking terrific, Garrett. So first off, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. And just want to start with that. What do you credit your success this season to? I mean, the numbers definitely speak for themselves with the ERA and all the metrics.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Yeah, I think this year for me, obviously coming off Tommy John last year and finally feeling good again. Had an important off season last year, or this past off season, and just carried that momentum into season this year. And body's been feeling good, and yeah, I'm just glad to be healthy again. And obviously, it's that's the key component to baseball and professional baseball, is staying healthy and
right.
Showing that you can go out there every chance you get and compete with the best of your ability.
Absolutely, and besides just the fact of staying healthy during a full season in pro ball, do you have any personal goals set this year as far as, hey, I want to hit these targets, these numbers, or I want to fine tune a certain pitch going into the year? What have been some of your personal goals, if you will?
Yeah, I've always taken pride in not giving up free bases. So I think one of the main goals for me this year was just, I didn't want to walk over 25 guys this year. And I mean, if I make every start, I'll probably get around 120 innings or so. So I thought that was a pretty good goal. That would challenge myself a little bit. But other than that, I mean, I'm pretty hard on myself, but I do realize this is my first full season. So there's a learning curve with that as well. And yeah, just attacking every outing I get, every opportunity I get. And like I said, just going out there and competing and just giving it my all every outing.
Mm-hmm. And now in pro ball, there's a lot of games, a lot of travel, a little bit different than high school and college. But for you, have you kind of figured out, hey, here's my schedule, here's what a typical day is going to look like on and off the field? Just if you can give us a little insight into, what does a typical day look like for you, whether you're starting or not starting that day?
Yeah, for me, pretty boring, to be honest with you. I do the same thing every single day. And even on days I'm not pitching, it takes me roughly an hour before I pick up a baseball as far as activation and all that stuff. And I like that because even on days I start, I come into the field and I have those start day nerves, and once I start my routine and I start going with that, it just calms everything down for me. And it gives me that confidence that I carry onto the mound for that day. And that's what's worked for me. Every guy's different, obviously. And I've been doing that same routine now for probably 2 years.
Yeah.
So even during the off season, it'll get a little different. But for the most part, like I said, it's the same thing for me every single day. I'm getting my 3 lifts a weekend, some running and stuff, some tempos. But everything I do, I try to circulate around what's going to best prepare me for, that start every 6 days.
Right, for sure.
I found that works for me, so I continue to do that. And I'm big on controlling the controllables, and I think your routine and stuff like that you do day to day is fully in my control. So I stay on top of that.
Yeah. Now, going back a little bit, I did some reading. I try to do some prep work before I do interviews with players or coaches or whatnot. And I read an article, I think it was from the Tampa Bay Times, that you actually used to visit Tropicana Field as a kid. I guess you had grandparents that lived in the Tampa Bay area, and you have memories of watching Evan Longoria and Will Myers and guys like that. Can you just give us a little insight into that storyline of you growing up and getting to watch some Rays baseball, and maybe how that is kind of come full circle with you now being part of the organization?
Right. Yeah. My grandparents live in Wesley Chapel. So we'd go visit them yearly. And I can remember my grandpa being a huge Rays fan, huge Evan Longoria fan. And he had brought me and my cousin down for a game one time, and we were sitting right above the third base dugout. So, like, obviously it's pretty good, close look at Evan Longoria at third base. And no, I just remember it being really cool. And awesome place, obviously, because the dome and everything, what makes Tropicana Field pretty special. And and I remember Will Myers just because I remember he was a younger guy at the time, and he didn't wear batting gloves. And my grandpa used to think, like, he's a gritty player, he just kind of goes up there and just gets after it. But no, it was pretty cool being there and being in that environment. And then, getting drafted by him, obviously, too, was kind of like, this is crazy. But no, it was cool.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's awesome. And, maybe within the next couple of years, you'll be pitching at the Trop for the Tampa Bay Rays, just, on the track that you're on. It's looking that way. And I also wanted to go back a little bit further to your days as a high school athlete. You were not only a great baseball player, but an amazing basketball player. Like, some of the numbers that you put up at your high school are just out of this world. So I just wanted to get inside that a little bit. Like, what ultimately allowed you to say, okay, I gotta to set aside the court and I gotta go play baseball. Baseball is where my future is. Like, when did that decision making come into play of like, I could play college basketball and go that route, but baseball might be the best way to have a career in professional baseball? Was that kind of the idea?
Yeah, definitely. And I give huge props to my coach at the time, J.C. Holt, who played at LSU for 3 years, got drafted by the Braves in, I believe, the third round, and played in the Braves minor league system for probably 7-8 years. Had a few injuries, never made it up. I think he made it up to AAA, but no, he's still a big role model for me and someone I talk to a lot. And he gets the job at my high school at Pitkin my junior year, and I was all in on basketball. Like, play basketball 11 months out of the year, AAU, everything. Like, I thought fully I was going to go play college basketball somewhere. And then he gets to Pitkin my junior year. We had a really good team that year. We ended up winning the state championship. And that year as a junior, I was like 80, 83 on the mound. And the season ends. We win the state championship. And, we're close family ties too. So he kind of pulled me in his office one day and he's like, have you ever thought about playing college baseball? And I'm like, not at all. Like, honestly, I didn't feel like I was good enough. I'm throwing 82 right now as a junior. I don't think that's going to cut it. And he was like, well, let's start lifting a little bit and throwing some plyo balls. Let's see what happens. I was like, I'm in, So we start working out a little bit, throwing the plyo ball. Well, literally a month after our season ends, I throw a bullpen, and I remember I hit 87. And I was like, okay, like, this is cool. Like, and then I went through for Northwestern State and McNeese State, and I had hit like 89. And I was like, okay, like, my velo's ticking up a little bit. And I remember hitting 90. And then I got invited to a showcase in Baton Rouge to throw in front of LSU. I won their little deals where you face hitters and stuff, and their pitching coach is there, and like JC, he rode down there with me, and he's really nervous because like he played at LSU and he knows the recruiting coordinator and everything, and he kind of helped set it up. He's like just hoping that I throw well because I hadn't really thrown on that level before, and I threw well. I was like 80, 89, 92, and obviously getting the opportunity from them to go play baseball there was like a dream come true. Growing up LSU football fan and baseball fan, I've been to a lot of their games and stuff. And once that happened, I didn't really think about basketball anymore. I was kind of like, all right, I think, that I have a shot at playing baseball at a higher level than I do basketball.
Right.
So that's what helped me make that decision. And obviously, I think a lot of it too was like I said, I played basketball 11 months out of the year. I was kind of getting burnt out on it a little bit. It was a lot on my body and stuff like that. So I was like, baseball was newer to me, and it still is. So that's why I decided to go that route. Yeah.
And the rest is history. You go to LSU, one of the premier college baseball programs, win a national championship, and now you're, getting a paycheck to play baseball, to play a sport, which is pretty awesome. Now, all right, today's episode is brought to you by Supply House. Get the supplies you need from the site made for the skilled trades. That is Supply House. Whether you're in plumbing, HVAC, or electrical work, Supply House is the reliable way to order products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed, and I mean packed, with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Plus, with a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from 400 of the top brands, you'll find exactly what you need delivered fast from coast to coast. So go ahead, join the Trademaster program today at supplyhouse.com/TM and start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. Plus, use promo code SH5 for 5% off your first order. That is supplyhouse.com. During your time at LSU, just how did that environment shape you as a pitcher and competitor? Just how did you grow and develop and thrive going to a program like that?
Yeah, we had 3 pitching coaches in my 3 years there, and obviously a head coach change as well.
Mm-hmm.
There was something to learn from all 3 of them, I believe, and it was kind of picking and choosing from what they had to teach us, and obviously playing in front of the fans there. I mean, when we played conference play on the weekends, we were playing in front of 11,000 people. So it was something for me that I feel like the moment was never too big for me,
Right.
and just kind of get out there. And at the end of the day, it's still baseball, no matter how many people are in the stands, and you're facing a hitter at 60 feet 6 inches. So
Mm-hmm.
trying to simplify the game and not making it bigger than it is. And yeah, junior year, we had a really good group of guys that year, obviously winning it all, had a special team, really good coaching staff, and Wes Johnson comes, and there was a lot to learn from him too. And I felt like, 23 pitchers on the team that year, that we all got better. And he really helped pull the potential out of every pitcher there. And him coming to LSU junior year was definitely a game changer for me. And I think it's one of the main reasons I'm where I'm at today.
Yeah. And then the other cool feature is the draft too. I mean, you get drafted and then so many of your teammates get drafted as well. I mean, everybody knows about Paul Skeens and Dylan Cruz and guys like that, but there's also Trey Morgan, who is in the Rays farm system as well. So that must've been a pretty cool bonding moment for you all, just saying, hey, it's like almost Alabama with football where, 10 or 11 guys get drafted every year pretty much. So was that a pretty special moment, just, hearing your name called, but also hearing a lot of your teammates' names called during the 2023 draft?
Yeah, it was a really cool moment. I'm happy for all those guys. A lot of close buddies got picked and stuff. And obviously with Trey, that was pretty cool. Us being at LSU 3 years together, and now in the Rays org, and happy to see him playing well too this year and last year. But no, it was awesome. And the draft experience it's unique because it's different for every person. And for me, it was pretty stressful, because I blew out my junior year with Tommy John, and I didn't really pitch my sophomore year. So I was a little stressed going into it just because of the timing. And
Right.
I was like, if I don't sign, I've got to come back to LSU. And at that point, I'm probably gonna have to redshirt because of the time. I'm not going to be back in time for help. And but no, it worked out how it's supposed to. Really trusted God in that time of my life. And yeah, it's one that I look back on now and I'm grateful for. And I'm grateful for the way that worked out, sucked blowing out and not being able to pitch in Omaha or the playoffs, but it kind of changed my perspective on the game a little bit to not take anything for granted and to be a good teammate too. So it was awesome.
No, that makes sense. And yeah, so when the Rays draft you, you're coming off Tommy John surgery. What was that like for you, just the recovery and the rehab process mentally and physically? Because we've talked to other athletes, players on the show, and they talk about how it is kind of a grind knowing that you're, sitting in a physical therapy room versus, playing and competing with your teammates. Just how was that process like for you and just dealing with that? And it's a long recovery time as well.
Yeah, at first I was in shock. The game's taken away from you, and it's never been taken away from me before. I didn't really know how to feel about it. I was in a pretty low spot, I'd say, for a little while. But then, because once you have surgery, you can't touch a baseball for 6 months. So it's like it gets very, very monotonous. You do the same thing every single day, just waking up, going to the field. And a lot of it for me was it really helped me get back on track with my relationship with Christ. Like I said, I'm a believer, and that helped me mentally stay in a really good spot during all of it. And the support of my now fiance and family helped a lot as well. And them coming to visit me in that time. I had a lot of people reach out to me when I blew out, just praying for you. And hey, a few of my guys that I look up to texted me who have been through Tommy John before too, and they were blunt, like, hey, this is not going to be easy, but you're going to be fine. Just it'll be over before you know it. So I think just taking it one day at a time, and I'm a big process guy. So when I blew out, I was shocked, but at the same time, I knew I did everything I could to stay healthy. So when something like that happens, it kind of sucks, but it's like I could have done anything more. So that helped me ease my mind a little bit, and I used it as an opportunity to get better. And I mean, I wouldn't go back and have it not happen now that I'm looking back on it. I'm glad it happened.
Now, after that happened, has your style changed? Like, are you throwing harder? Or have you been able to incorporate more pitches to your repertoire? Just what's kind of your style now compared to pre-surgery, if you will? I'd
say it's pretty similar. I think the biggest thing for me was there was a few mechanical adjustments that I needed to make just with lower body and an arm slot and all that stuff. And that gave me an opportunity to fix that. So I'd say now the biggest thing is my velo is a tick down from where it was then, but it's slowly creeping up. And I think the biggest thing now from then is I feel everything feels way more effortless now. Like I feel like I'm utilizing everything really efficiently in my delivery, and the velo feels easy and the delivery feels repeatable. So I think just staying there and continuing to build and stay in the process every day, that my velo will come back. And I mean, like I said, body and arm feel really good right now.
That's great. Great to hear. So now, as far as pitching goes, is there anybody, in the game now or that you watched growing up that you model your game after, or even in general, any pitchers in particular that you try to study and learn from? I mean, you've got, a build at 6'5" and 200 plus pounds. I didn't know if you look at guys of similar repertoire and size and say, okay, I see what they're doing, I'm going to try to model that a little bit as well. Or you're kind of your own player, so to speak?
Yeah, I'm more of my own player, I'd say. I mean, I watched some guys in college throw like Shane Bieber and stuff like that, and just how he located in and out and tunneled his pitches off of it. He did a really good job at that. But I'd say now there's really no one. The Rays do a really good job at helping us, become who we are. And we're all different pitchers in the organization, and just they try to simplify it for us. So I think it's just trying to get better, just competing with myself every day. Right. And try to get better than I was last start.
That's great. Now, yeah, like you mentioned, the Rays are known for maximizing pitcher development. That is like their calling card. What is something specifically that they've emphasized or helped you refine so far now that you've been in the organization?
I'd say just simplifying the game plan to face hitters. In college, we did scout reports and all that, and we knew some percentages of what we should throw to this guy, and we'd go over it before the series every week. And now in pro ball and high A, it's more of just like, hey, your stuff's really good. Let's just attack these guys, and how crucial it is getting ahead 0-1, 0-2, 1-2, and winning the first 2 or 3 and first pitch strike. So that's the main things the Rays look at. So like I said, which helps you simplify everything. I'm just like, hey, I'm going to throw my best stuff over the plate and make them beat me and not give out free bases, because hitting's really hard.
If you're running a business, you know that every missed call is money left on the table. Think about the last time you had a service emergency like a burst pipe. If the first plumber didn't answer, did you wait? Nope, you called the next one. That's why having a reliable business line is so important, and that is why you need Open Phone. Open Phone is the #1 business phone system that helps you streamline and scale customer communication, all from an app on your phone or computer. Did you juggle 2 phones just to keep business and personal calls separate? Well, Open Phone solves that problem instantly. And they have an AI agent that handles after-hours calls, answers common questions, and captures leads so you'll never miss a customer again. OpenPhone is offering Locked On Rays listeners 20% off your first 6 months at openphone.com/lockedonmlb. That's openphone.com/lockedonmlb. And if you have existing numbers with another service, Open Phone will port them over at no extra charge. Open Phone, no missed calls, no missed customers. No, yeah, that makes a ton of sense. And that's what I've heard previously is, sometimes other teams or in college or wherever it might be, paralysis by overanalysis. But with the Rays, it's like, no, we drafted you, we acquired you for a reason. You're really talented. Just go out and throw strikes or hammer the zone or use this pitch more than other pitches, and just trying to keep it as simple as possible, so you're not, I guess, overthinking on the mound or at the plate if you're a hitter as well. Now, as far as pro ball and college ball, what's maybe the biggest difference in gameplay that you've noticed? I mean, I assume guys are a little bit stronger, faster, they capitalize on mistakes, but just for you, what is something like, oh, okay, now I'm in pro ball, this is a lot different than what it was in college?
Yeah, I'd say the biggest thing that's different for me that stood out instantly is just how you're on your own, like it's your career type thing. In college, the strength coach and pitching coach was over your shoulder. Hey, go lift, go do this. And you very much get what you put into it. And I like that, like I said, because I'm big on the controllables. But outside of that, I'd say pro ball is a little faster just with the pitch clock and stuff, but it's not that much of a difference so far in high A. Maybe as you get into double and triple A, it'll get a little quicker. But no, I mean, facing the SEC hitters we'd face, when we're playing Tennessee and stuff, like I'd say hitting wise, like right now, I haven't really thought that it was, there's a lot of guys in the lineup you have to worry about. So like I said, just attacking guys, and it's the same game. And there's stuff to learn as you move up, obviously at every level. But for me now, like I'm pretty comfortable here and just trying to get hitters out and put up zeros.
Yeah, for sure. Now in the minors so far this year and last year, besides the places that the teams that you've played for, what have been some other places that you really enjoyed visiting, or you really enjoyed their ballparks, like somewhere outside of your home base? What's been a cool place to visit and play in for you?
I think my favorite place so far we've played at this year is probably Greenville.
Okay.
That place was really cool. They got the monster and stuff in left field, and that was our first. We opened up there the first 3 games, and they had a really good crowd all 3 games. So it was fun to pitch there, and we just got back from Winston-Salem. That place was pretty cool. They got nice facilities, weight room, and all that stuff. Good little downtown area. But yeah, those 2 for sure stick out.
Cool. Now, in high A and maybe just throughout your minor league travels thus far, what's the clubhouse vibe like? And have you been able to bond with any other Rays prospects really well in your time with the organization?
Yeah, we have a really good group here in Bowling Green. I've told a lot of people that, just in our organization, our coordinators and stuff, like all of our pitchers we have, bullpen to starters, it doesn't matter, are all really good. So it's kind of like, we're here for each other. We're pulling for each other when they're on the mound, and then helping each other off the field as well, with what we can get better at. So we have a special group here. I've gotten pretty close with Marcus Johnson, and just grown closer to him, and because he's been in the org for a little bit. He got traded from Miami and stuff. So that relationship's been good. But yeah, like I said, we, even position player wise, really good group of guys. The vibes in the locker room are always great. And we're winning some baseball games, so that's always fun.
That's great. Now, and I'm not sure if you've had an opportunity to do this yet, but have you been able to interact with any Rays big leaguers or, any well-known baseball players besides like a Paul Skeens or something like that? But I didn't know if the Rays had introduced you to, some of the guys that are with the big league club, or that opportunity hasn't come about yet.
Yeah, I've talked to the main one, Taj Bradley, a little bit, and McClanahan, because when I was rehabbing up there, McClanahan was in the same boat. So in spring training, rode around, obviously we're in the same place, and we talked a little bit. And the main advice he gave me was just like, it's your career. You're going to get what you put into it. So you can't look around and compare yourself to other guys. Just kind of stay in your own lane and do what you're supposed to do every day. And the results on the field will take care of themselves.
Yeah. I think he's a good guy to learn from for sure. Now, getting to a couple, quick hitting questions before we wrap things up here. Either in college or the pros, is there a particular hitter that has caused you the most trouble, or the toughest hitter that you faced over the last several years? Just anybody that kind of stands out to you.
I mean, facing Dylan Cruz and fall inter squads was
okay.
He was obviously a really good hitter. Cade Doty, another guy that we had on our team that year. Those two stick out to me, but no one else that I can really think of that's been just a tough challenge. I mean, obviously we faced really good hitters, but
yeah,
those two come to mind first.
Okay. On a general basis, it's an 0-2 count. What are you throwing?
Slider.
Okay.
Yeah, more times than not a slider or a fastball up top of the zone.
Nice. What is your favorite pregame meal?
Just chicken and rice. Pretty simple.
Nice. If you weren't a pitcher, what position would you play or you want to play? I don't know what you did in high school, if you kind of did.
High school, I played third base and shortstop. So I probably play third base. Yeah.
Okay. You think you could still hack it in the minors?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Pitching's pretty good. I don't think I would be able to. We didn't face that good of pitching in high school.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. If you weren't playing baseball, what would you be doing instead?
I'd say basketball.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you had, on that first second, you had like several Division I basketball offers, correct?
Yeah, I had a decent amount. And before I committed to LSU, West Virginia and Ole Miss started showing interest and stuff. But obviously when I committed to LSU for baseball, I shut everything else down.
Yeah. Was there ever a thought of like, hey, maybe I can, be a two-sport athlete at the college level?
I told my brother if I didn't get drafted junior year that I would try to walk on to the basketball team for my senior year, but we never got to that.
Nice. And sticking, I'm a basketball guy, so I just want to keep firing questions on that front. What was your style of play as a basketball player? Were you just you could do a little bit of everything, or were you a sniper from the 3-point line, big rebounder? Just what was kind of your style as a ball player?
I'd say all around. I averaged a double-double for my 4 years in high school. So, But I'd say mainly if I had to pick and choose, like at the college level, I'd have been a shooting guard. I felt pretty confident shooting past half court anywhere, so I could extend the range a little bit. But in college, I would have definitely been a shooting guard and just spot up in the corner. But,
right.
Yeah.
Nice. What is your favorite TV show or movie?
Oh, that's a good one. Movie. I'm in a TV show. I really like Prison Break. I watched that a few months ago. It was really good on Netflix. Movie. I'm a big Tin Cup fan. Golf movie. Yeah. But no, not a big movie guy, to be honest with you.
All right.
Yeah.
More TV shows. There's a lot of good TV shows out there, especially with Netflix and Hulu and all that. What is besides watching TV and relaxing, what is your go-to hobby or hobbies when you're not on the field?
I enjoy playing golf, and during the off season, I hunt a lot when I'm back home.
Okay.
So, those two things for sure. A lot of golf though.
May I ask what's your handicap?
It's like a 5.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, not too.
That's pretty good. I'm at about a 15, so I got some work to do. It's funny because it seems like baseball players just love to golf in their off days. And there's some, we talked to Curtis Mead a year or two ago. He's a really good golfer. We've talking to guys that are almost like scratch golfers. So there's something with baseball players and golf that kind of connects, I guess.
For sure, yeah. My roommate, my sophomore year, junior year at LSU, he was on the golf team at LSU. So when he'd go out and practice, I'd just go out with him and hit balls and stuff. So I got pretty decent there for a little bit. I haven't played in a while now, though.
Heck, you could have been a 3-sport athlete at LSU or someplace. You could have golfed, basketball and baseball. That would have been kind of crazy. But Garrett, we appreciate the time. Is there anything you want to let Rays fans know, or anything that you want to promote or highlight, whether it's your social media or what you have going on? Just the floor is yours if you just want to mention anything.
No, man. Thanks for having me. I enjoyed it. Obviously, getting opportunities to do this is always fun.
Yeah.
Getting to know people a little more and stuff. But no, thanks for having me on.